Hear me? Test, test, test. I got a new updated OBS here. Testing. I need to hear that you can hear me. Give me a visual. I can see you all, right? You guys know that the streamer can see into all of your rooms. You guys know that? Give me a visual thumbs up if you guys are good. What is this terrible song? That's awful. Put on a classic, dude. What the fuck is this song? Here we go now. Actually, let's put on a... Dude. This shirt? That's right, baby! Yeesh! Oh, yeah. That's right. Little thing called fashion. Have you heard of it? Was it worth $50? Trick question. Yes. I mean, you could wear this anywhere. I'm going to wear this to weddings. Probably my own after Ari divorces me. From seeing this. I'll need to get a new one. It was funny because, okay, so I was in Vegas with Stanzy. We had a good time, me and my dog Stanzy. Talked about life, the future, gamble a lot of money. And how'd you become so dripful? I guess just really it's practice. What it is practice. We were walking through Vegas. We stopped by a store that had that shirt, and I immediately noticed that it is the most insane shirt that I have seen in a otherwise, like, I don't know, it seems like a pretty fashionable store. Like, there wasn't other comic book. This is like, everything else was like normal clothes, like, and then it was just this. And so I was like, well, I have to see if my Discord will let me cop this. So I immediately at everybody in my Discord, which I never do. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I have never really done this before. So I added everyone, and I didn't expect, you know, because when I normally post, like, oh, it's automatic. When it normally does these automatic posts. Wait, are we? I knew it would be the wrong. I knew it. That makes me the smart one because I knew it would be wrong. Oh, I'm also got a bunch of messages. So yeah, when it does like these automatic bot posts that do YouTube ping or whatever, you know, it gets a few reactions. So I figured I would be in this realm. So I at everyone urgent. I'm typing frantically on my phone in Vegas, and all of a sudden, fucking hundreds of reactions start pouring in. At everyone, need help. And so right here, my phone crashes. Right after I type need help, like as a joke, my phone will not, the Discord just fucking crashes. Like it won't, I can't type anything else. Stans is behind me laughing. He's like, you got to say more than that. I was like, it fucking won't, or it crashed. So, you know, this is like it makes me feel like I'm misleading my audience. That I'm in actual help. Like I'm in a 911 situation and I decided to go to my Twitch chat. So it pauses. I mean, there's a big pause between this. I started to get a bunch of DMs from chatters like, hey, what's going on? Like, what is it a PC issue or like you in danger? And that's making my phone lag more. Like it won't, and these are just, and all I can see is these numbers are flying up. Just fucking react. So finally I fucking do a hard reboot of my phone, like reset the whole thing, close out all the apps, get back in, and I immediately pause this. I'm shopping in Vegas. Do I cop? Which gets more reactions than all the rest. Everyone seems to be on board in a major way that it is a sheesh moment. That I have found a rare piece of perfect drip. Like if real life clothes were geared like like MMO items. It's a legendary. It's like I found a pair of legendary loot. It's like glowing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fucking gold or something. And so, I had to cop it. The store was called Edge, so you know it's good. So I immediately buy it, much to the chagrin of both Stan's, his wife, and my wife. My wife, by the way. That's a little subtle reference that I dropped in. I buy it for $50. What was extra funny to me is that when I brought it to the cashier, she was legitimately surprised. Because I think they expected never to sell this particular item. This is almost more of like I don't know, some kind of like statement piece for the store. I don't think they ever sell this shirt for $50. But I did. I purchased it proudly. I proudly purchased it. And I'm really excited to wear it. It's gonna be a big day for me. Stans did drop an iconic quote that I did put in my Discord. He said, "Inside each of us, there are two beings, a Joker and a Venom." And I think this shirt really encapsulates that. So I secured it, and all was well. So thank you. I want to really thank my chat for that one, because I wouldn't have had the huevos, the gumption, the gall to pull the trigger on such a purchase without you guys at my back. And I know you'd never let me down. I know that when you guys say it, it is not an ironic thing. It's something that you guys really believe. Model the shirt for us. Okay. All right. Inside everyone, there is a Venom and a Joker, baby. Yeah. And I keep the tag on because that shows that I paid a lot for it. I want everyone to know not that I just bought this shirt, but that I paid a lot for it. Unfortunately, just due to the overwhelming level of Sigma when I have this on, I cannot wear it for the YouTube video. I think it might be distracting to broader audiences. Do you know what I'm saying? So I do have to take it off. But that is a Twitch exclusive. That is a Twitch exclusive. The shirt is beautiful. I agree. That's why I purchased it. That is why I purchased it, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like this should be your branding going forward. You think my branding should be a Joker Venom hybrid, both of which I don't own the IP to. You think I should lean heavily into stealing the Joker and the Venom? Although I don't really own the IP to Enron nor Lehman Brothers. And I still sell the product. By the way, this week, Enron hats back in stock, baby. Little yoink, little twist. Just buy the IP Lamau. What could it cost? What could it possibly cost, boys, to buy the rights to the Joker and the Venom? Like, they're not that popular. Any plans to stock the Lehman Brothers shirt? You bet your ass. You bet your ass. If we don't have that shirt stocked, locked, and ready to roll, I will personally hurt Aiden Calvin. That's right. Emotionally. No, just emotionally. Like I did on Twitter the other day. In case you didn't see, Aiden asked, can someone explain why the US dollar is so strong right now? And I gave him a real response, which is about our Fed raising interest rates and basically that we are the cleanest of all dirty shirts. Every economy is in crisis. Everyone's fleeing to the USD because it is the safest of all bad choices. And then I said, the real question is why someone who's a self-proclaimed little travel baby travels 10,000 times when it's expensive, and now that it's generationally cheap time to travel, is sitting at home playing Valorant. So, yeah. That's right, Aiden. The sting is coming if we don't get those hats stocked. By the way, you know what's funny? It was right after I sent that, he DM'd me and said, hey, do you want to travel with me to New Zealand? So I might be going on a trip with Aiden. It might be a boys' trip to New Zealand. I swear to God. Yeah, we'll see. Could be really fun. Yo, Atrioc, if I took you to a casino and gave you $100,000 to triple your money in the hour, what would you do? I'll tell you what I did this weekend with Stans. I would take all of the money that I budgeted, put it all on the field and craps, and lose it. That's just me, though. I guess I'm just built different. Okay, so I can't do too much intro here. We have a lot to do today. We have a wins and fails, full complete, and HBO Max. I plan to do them both. It's a big day. I'm very excited about both. There's a lot to talk about in both. The original Pobo, thank you for the 15 months. NG Joseph, thank you for the prime. V Busy, thank you for the 15 months. Buzz City, thank you for the prime. Magic Turtle, thank you for the prime. We are doing both, and I will go as late as I can to make sure the EST Frogs' lives are ruined to get them both done. Pretty excited. I'm also eating fruit roll-ups, so give me some credit for that. Lives already in shambles, big A. Sorry to hear that. I was sent here by God to punish EST Frogs. And I'm trying to devise the most devious ways to do that. Subtly. And over time. We'll make it work, though. Okay, so anything else to discuss? Anything else going on outside of the realm of marketing, business, geopolitics? My shirt, that was the main thing. I think this is the biggest news in the world. It was your birthday, okay? Okay. All right, 1 second before we move on. It was Monkey's birthday. Everyone please say hi to Monkey. It is his birthday. That was a big Monkney. Monkney. Is China in a coup? I was going to include the wins and fails, but I didn't. If you guys want to know, there was a very widespread rumor that China was currently in a coup to overthrow Xi Jinping, held by the previous president, Hu Jintao, who had gained control of the military and was putting him under house arrest. It was not true, but it trended on Twitter. It was a bit of wishful thinking. It ended up not being true at all. No. I did follow it closely because, you know, the collapse. The collapse is coming any day now. The collapse! What's the advantage of a coup? Do you know what a coup is? A coup is one party taking power from another. So the advantage is that party gets powerful. It's for one side it's an advantage, one side it's not. How about I'm G, it's true, help me. Damn, can you imagine Xi Jinping hacking through the Great Firewall of China? His one message to the outside world is to me. A man who has railed against him on stream for 2 years now. That was his one chance. All right, Xi, you know what? We're going to help. I'm on my way, King. Let's get you out of there. That's funny. That's fucking funny. What if we cooed your channel and got all the power? Well, then you'd have to stream. All right? You guys do Marketing Monday then. I'll watch. As long as it's still on my channel, right? Magnus Carlsen drama. Okay, final. Yeah, I'll do a little. I really want to start here in like literally 3 minutes. Magnus Carlsen drama. This might be a bold take. I might have a bold take. I am a complete bootlicker for Magnus Carlsen. 100%. The man's the GOAT. The undisputed GOAT, dude. He's so fucking good at chess. I don't think he's wrong. If he says Hans cheated, I think Hans fucking cheated. Honestly, that's where I'm at. I read his statement. He doesn't have a lot of proof, but he's got a gut feeling. He's never said this about anybody. It's not like every time Magnus loses, he calls him a cheater. This is the one time ever. I think that's worth really looking into. And also, in case you guys don't watch chess, the tournament that just completed, Magnus absolutely washed everybody. Hans owned as well. Literally, the only game he dropped the whole tournament was the one he auto-resigned to Hans. He crushed everyone. He's fucking crazy good. He's playing like the chess of his life. It's amazing. How can you possibly cheat in chess? This man has never been stimulated in the way that Hans Niemann maybe has. I'll tell you that. This man doesn't know the pleasures that Hans knows when he fucking goes pawn to e2. I will tell you that. No, we don't. I mean, we don't know. We honestly don't know. But the man has admitted to cheating online before. And you know what? Cheaters, I hate to say this, but I've been a long time esports in the esports industry and gaming industry. Cheaters often cheat again. Okay? Cheaters often cheat again. Very rarely does someone say, "Oh, I cheated once online, but I never cheated again." You know, and then they often do cheat again. And I hate to overly delve on this because maybe he didn't cheat. But I want to give Magnus the benefit of the doubt in this situation because I think he legitimately is a trustworthy source. Hans used a mirror in the roof to look at Magnus's moves. He bypassed the fog of war in chess to see this. Very clever, Hans. Very clever. The man's depravity knows no bounds, dude. He'll stoop to any lengths. Didn't Hans get killed by Kylo Ren? Hudat's brain is totally fried. Hudat has worked a real job and streamed for 4 days and has lost his brain is gone, dude. I've been doing it for 2 years. my brain's also gone, to be fair. Okay. Oh, and E3. E3 is also back. Shout outs to that. E3 is back in a major way. They're opening to the public. I will be there in person. If anyone wants to go to E3 and say hey and check out some games with me, I will not do it with you. But we could be in the same building. It's open to public. So it'll be in summer of this upcoming year. That being said, hey, I want to say one thing. I don't know how exactly we're going to do it, but I am going to TwitchCon this year. If any of you are going to TwitchCon, I would love to see some members of the Troc Flock. Please, keep it to a GH instead of a full-on, hey, glizzy or something. But I would actually honestly love to see some people. I think Pay is organizing something where people can maybe meet up. I don't know yet. I will let you know as soon as I do know. But if you do see me at TwitchCon, please say hey. I would love to say hey, to be quite honest. Be walking around, maybe even streaming IRL with Stanzy. And also S3K will be there. We're going to hang out with them, kick it too. I don't know. It should be fun. So, okay. Hey, you know what? I think we're good. Okay, we're ready for Marketing Monday. So let's jump on into it. We have a lot to cover. But as always, we cannot seamlessly transition into Marketing Monday without the power of everyone in chat taking their index finger and pointing like a monkey at the screen and saying me. Please tag yourself in the Marketing Monday intro. Welcome to Marketing Monday on the week of 9/26. Let's open with some wins and fails. Starting with, I don't know what to call this. I don't know if it's a win or if it's a fail. All I know is that in our timeline, in our multiverse, our version of the Avengers is Dude Perfect. Who just unveiled a 330-foot tower. Massive Dude Perfect headquarters. Their new office. 2 acres of outdoor space. Restaurants, merch stores, and a Dude Perfect museum. This is, again, a YouTube group of bros in their, 30s who do trick shots with ping pong balls. They are now a superhero group. They actually have a tower to rival the Avengers. This is the indoor part, Trick Shot Town, Dash Pass, Overland, Merch Town, and of course you can get up in this tower and shoot basketball trick shots. This is where the future lies. These are the heroes we will call upon when times are tough in this emerging crazy geopolitical climate and global economy. We're going to call on the people of Dude Perfect. these guys. These guys will save us. So I guess big win to them. You know what, Putin? Stand down. Stand down, Vlad. Or there's going to be a trick shot in your face. Send the boys over, dude. If these guys paratroop into Russia, they'd end the war that quick. And you know what? I'm gonna follow up a win with another win. Let's keep the wins coming. The only problem is I have to make sure. You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me just get all the fucking tabs ready before. I'm worried that I'm gonna have to do this tab thing a lot. So here we go. All right. Let's keep the wins coming. For creators, another win. If you tuned into football, I believe last night, you might have seen this.
Time to get a little respect. Now, not everyone's welcome into the Champions Club. But Jimmy G belongs. Welcome back, Nick.
Dr. Disrespect on national TV.
They've all earned their respect.
We're thrilled to welcome
Enter Russell Wilson.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's
Pause for a second. We'll watch the end of it. But this is actually unironically pretty cool and pretty crazy. From being from, some people had said that Doc was indeed done and not just on Twitch. I know why and I can't say, but this is serious. From this iconic tweet, he has, instead of been done or jailed, he is now on national TV during a primetime football commercial in full character persona. And it's not
the Broncos.
like, it's 100% on brand for him, so it's not cringy. Only if you think Doc is cringy as a whole. But if you're a Doc fan, this is like right up his alley and feels really cool.
Bulls finally have their quarterback, right? Who's raining down? Booing already? Unbelievable. I like that. Take it from an international gaming icon. These teams are Champions Club caliber.
I need you. Let's get it. Russell Wilson.
But Russell, let's go. Tonight, it's game over. Game over. The Niners ride. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I was just shocked to see this. This is pretty unexpected, but pretty impressive. Good for his brand. And he's got a lot in the works. Even though his game apparently has crypto in it, I did think he was pretty smart to launch a gaming studio. He's got, I think, a scripted television series in the works. He's got a lot. Dr. Spencer is definitely pioneering this part of the creator economy. I'm not sure whether it's all going to work out for him, but he's definitely leading the way for others. So, also the 49ers lost. It didn't exactly work out for him, but I will give him a win. I'll give him a win in this case. It's still pretty cool, the Shungite game. But now, come on, 2 wins in a row. I have to lead with a fail. I can't possibly do 3 wins in a row. Or can I? For you guys, I will. Okay? For you guys, I will. Because you know what? Gen Z has it tough. But I've thought about it, and I've realized there's a few things that Gen Z really loves. Really loves. That might make you happy in these tough times. That might bring you back to a positive spirit. Number 1, Fortnite, obviously. Fortnite number 1. You guys love that. Number 2, of course, the metaverse. Yes, dude. Am I getting it now? Am I understanding you? Fortnite, the metaverse. Number 3, and this is the big one for most people to Gen Z, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Because Samsung, in a move that is a total win, is bringing The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon to Fortnite as it looks to connect with Gen Z in its latest move into the metaverse. Possibly the worst sentence I've ever read. Possibly the worst sentence I've ever read. So you guys can all poggies your minds out. Oh, wait.
Poggers. Poggers. Poggers.
A rare triple poggers alert, because you guys can literally live your dream of being part of the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon in the world of Fortnite. Thank you, Samsung, for bringing this. This is a big marketing win. Huge congratulations. And you know what? I'm going to follow it up, with a double dip. A rare quad wins in a row.
Poggers.
Walmart is doing the same thing. Welcome to Walmart Land. You're invited to Walmart Land and Walmart's universe of play. 2 new immersive experiences in the metaverse mega platform Roblox. Grab your headsets and hop in. Who hasn't dreamed of going to Walmart Land in Roblox? Can you imagine? Wake up, vape for 2 hours, go to Walmart Land and do some of your shopping and socializing, then go over to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon in Fortnite to watch some entertainment and cool off. That's a full day. That's a full day, dude. I love seeing all of these companies dump a bunch of money into these great metaverse plays. They make a ton of sense and are not a waste at all. Big wins. Okay, but now that you guys have to give me credit. I just gave you 4 amazing wins there. Now we have to go to a fail. And unfortunately, I gave you 4 wins because this fail is quite tough to watch. I'm smiling, but I shouldn't be. This is a content warning. I want all of you to be very careful about watching what I'm about to show you next. This is a truly nightmarish fail. I shouldn't even be allowed to show this on Twitch TV. But as a journalist, I will do what it takes to bring the truth to you. You guys know that right now there's an energy crisis in the EU. Okay? Because Russia cut off supplies of natural gas, electricity prices are skyrocketing, gas prices are skyrocketing, and Europe is desperate to reduce their energy use for this winter. They're finding any ways to cut the amount of energy use. And one of them is increased public transportation. People need to drive less and take buses more. Unfortunately, they didn't think of the marketing side, because Sabadell, a bus conglomerate in Spain, has just revealed its brand new bus mascot named Bussy. Dear God. Dear God. Kill me! Kill me! I wasn't meant to live! What a monster. Send this to Vlad. If you send this to Vladimir Putin, the war might be over because he'll know that he won. Even if he didn't win economically, he might have won spiritually. Don't let him see this. Oh, God. It's so bad, even if it wasn't named Bussy. And it is. Man, he does have moves, though. You know what? He is kind of winning me over with his dance moves. I think everybody in clubs this summer is going to be doing the Bussy. So start practicing, dude. Start practicing. That is a fucking dance. Do the Bussy. Okay, all right, I'm done. I am done. That was a fail that I hated to have to show you, but you guys know that I do it for you. Now, let me get serious for a second. Let me get serious for a second and make sure that I have all my links here. Sorry, I was so thrown by that. Here, we got it. Let's give a win. Go back to wins, huh? Let's save it. I'm gonna give a win to the folks at Disney. I own stock in it. Big company. Disney's done it again. Okay? They have a deep, deep reverence for the source material of Star Wars. Okay? When they took it over, they said we're not going to fuck up Star Wars. Okay? We're going to do a good thing, and we're going to have a real fucking honesty and passion for the source material. There's an iconic quote by Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first Star Wars that Darth Vader had become more machine than man. Disney, studies of the lore, students of the lore, took it to heart. And that's why today they have bought the rights to James Earl Jones's voice and are going to replace it with AI. It will now be a true robot voice for Darth Vader in perpetuity. Long after James Earl Jones has died, they will be cranking out AI replications of his voice on Darth Vader products for decades, centuries to come. I love that. I love that honesty and respect to the source material. However, there is a fail downside to this new advance in technology. And the fail is to voice actors. The voice actors in general. So sorry, Lily Pichu. Actually, Lily Pichu's probably fine. The top 1% of voice actors are probably fine, but a lot of others will not be. Ninja Theory and other AAA devs are reportedly using AI voice acting over actual people for all of the dialogue in their games. Because again, expansive big games like this have tons of voice recorded lines. And so if they can pay a small fee and then be able to write all the dialogue they want and have an AI voice generate it, they no longer need a large roster of voice actors. And this is a very, dangerous precedent for the future of the smaller end of the voice acting industry. Again, the big famous people are probably fine. If you're Lily Pichu or you're, Jack Black or whatever, this is not going to impact you. Your voice is iconic. But for the average person clocking in, this is a dangerous one. This is a bit of a fail on their part. Speaking of AI, I have another bit of unsettling news. High-resolution deepfakes are now available from a single photo.
A company claims that its Mega Portraits technology can generate megapixel-sized avatars from basic single-frame starting points. According to the team, their advancements addressed a particularly difficult challenge in which the look of the driving picture differs significantly from that of the animated source image. When the subject is a short-haired guy, it is far more difficult to pull off a successful deepfake of Angelina Jolie. The deepfakes of Tom Cruise that debuted on TikTok last year were so impressive because the subject resembled the famous actor and was able to mimic his gestures. It would have been significantly more difficult to develop a deepfake model of Cruise if the subject looked...
So this would be great because you know what this means is that if someone's really famous, like say Tom Cruise, but they get too old to act in movies. We can just buy the rights to their voice and their likeness and then have low paid, actors that look like them when they were young, deep fake their face on there and do Top Gun 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, Mission Impossible 100. We can keep it going with the same actor in perpetuity forever. So here's the deal. Because this technology is advancing so fast, everybody in this room has about, let's give it 10 years to get famous. You got about 10 years to get famous, and then you can use that likeness for all of eternity. But after that, they're not going to need new famous people because they'll already have old famous people. So the real win is everybody hustling right now. They're going to start breeding popular actors to make deep fake clones. Your fan fiction sounds very interesting, but I don't know that we need to hear it during Marketing Monday. S3K deepfake. Oh, yeah, that'll be great. You know what? Can I buy the rights to psychic squeaker voice? Because the new psychic voice is not as funny. We have no jokes. We can't make fun of it. So I need to replace it digitally with AI so that we can still go, what, is this guy 5 years old? And then keep the S3K lore going. This is actually a good idea. This is a good business idea. One more thing on it. This is an AI heavy wins and fails, by the way. There was a lot of interesting news and advancements in AI this week. And one of them I found to be particularly interesting. And I might even do a separate video on this. But I wanted to bring it up because it's a massive win to anyone in chat who considers himself a lazy student. Does that apply to any of you? Do any of you consider yourselves a lazy student? Just wondering, show of hands. I've got a win for you. I have got a massive win for you. The biggest advancement in cheating technology that I've ever seen is using AI to write your essays and get straight A's. People are literally inputting prompts into AI generating algorithms that are writing better essays than they would have written. Or, at the very least, getting the AI to write it first and then they just edit it. They just tweak it a little bit, but it's easier for them. And then they feel like they didn't cheat because they tweaked it, but they did cheat. This guy is going one step further and selling AI-generated essays to his classmates, which is just a business idea that is insane. Now, I want to give you guys an example because you might not believe that this can be pulled off. And I didn't myself. And then I saw this. So he said, he put a prompt in, write a scary essay that starts with "Dear teacher" about how my dog ate my homework. That's all he wrote. This is the only prompt. Okay? Now imagine you were given this prompt. I know the writing skill of the average person in chat. I know what you would write to this prompt. Look at this wrote. "Dear teacher, I'm sorry I'm not able to turn in my homework today. The reason is quite simple, and it's also quite horrifying. You see, my dog ate my homework. I know what you're thinking. How could a dog eat a homework assignment? Well, let me tell you, it was no ordinary dog. It was a giant slavering beast with teeth the size of steak knives, and it was hungry. I came home from school yesterday to find the house in disarray. Furniture was overturned, dishes were broken, and there was a trail of carnage leading to my bedroom. And there, in the center of the room, was my dog, standing over my shredded homework. I tried to scold him, but he just bared his teeth and growled. I tried to pull him away, but he was too strong. I tried to reason with him, but he just stared at me with those cold, dead eyes. And then I knew I was in trouble. This wasn't my dog anymore. This was something else, something evil, something possessed. It's been hours now, and I'm still barricaded in my room. I can hear it prowling outside, waiting for me to come out. I don't know what to do. I'm scared, teacher. I'm really scared. Please, if you find this note, help me. Sincerely, your student." That, if a teacher got that, they would be incredibly impressed. They would be incredibly impressed. It's like a fun, high-stakes take on the fucking excuse. None of you would write that. None of you would write that. That's actually a pretty well-written short story for a student. That is a scary advancement. That is a scary advancement. And so, and it's completely, the only way you can detect it is by a teacher just knowing the student is too dumb to write this. But it's entirely new. It's not plagiarized. So they can't just put it into an algorithm. It's basically your word against theirs every time. And so we're entering an era where AI-generated cheating makes it nearly impossible for teachers to even have a chance at winning the fight against cheating, which is a scary thought. As much as I was a poor student and would have used this, I do think, it's tough to imagine the scale of cheating once this is widespread. Doesn't work during exams? Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true for now. But maybe you'll have a Hans Niemann style anal bead making you figure out how to do it via AI, and then you're set. So I don't know. Just imagine. So many people in chat are like, what? This is crazy. This is terrible. What tool is it? This is an outrage. Where is this tool so I can take it down? What website is this out? Give me the link so I can express my disapproval in the comments. There's so many fucking comments. Listen, people have already posted it. Good luck. Godspeed. Don't say, I didn't tell you to cheat because you know what? Here's the win for me. I used to be a bad student, but now I'm on the side of academia. I'm on the side of the university. Because guess what? The university has finally realized my importance. I got this tweet today. Watching Atrioc in my marketing 321 class. Not even a 100 level. They got fucking Bergsy in university. Dude, what? Dude, a 300 level class is putting on Bergsy? That shit's crazy. Do you know how bad a student I was? And now they got my marketing Monday in university. This is a dub, baby. This is a dub. Everybody in this chat better take some serious notes and not use AI to write their essays, okay? I want to see a 6-pager on Bergsy and his depression and how he's a relatable burger-based teen. Big dub. Big dub for Bergsy and the Institution of Marketing Money for making it into higher education. And you know what? There's a lot of wins today. To be honest, I got a lot of wins for you because I know that you guys like the wins, you like the dubs, and I never flip them either, so they're all truly honest wins. This one actually is. I talked about it before, but let's give a actual double down Poggers honest win to Cyberpunk 2077, who after last week's uptick in sales has continued to rise and just passed the all-time Steam peak current players for Witcher 3. Cyberpunk 2077 today has more players than Witcher 3 at its peak. Who would have thought this was possible a year ago? This game was so widely panned, so widely hated, disaster, trash. We hate the company. And they have brought it back. They have legitimately added patch after patch after patch. They have a big expansion coming. They have released an amazing expansion of the lore with the Netflix show, which is currently rated like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's actually incredible the level of dedication they have to saving this IP. It might end up being a long-lasting IP. Cyberpunk might actually be cherished. People might actually want a sequel. It's crazy. I would have absolutely bet against this. Absolutely bet against this at the day of the launch. It just seemed like such an overwhelming disaster. So I'm very impressed. And despite all of these, all this progress and these massive sales, I mean, it's top of the Steam sales chart every day for the past couple weeks. Despite all of this, CDPR stock still remains basically at an all-time low. It's had a slight uptick ever since the sales, but still, if you zoom out, basically at an all-time low. So, realistically, a possible investment for sure. Again, there's no way to predict a single stock, the ebbs and flows of a single stock during a global recession and economic crisis. No one can know. But on fundamentals, it seems like it's trending back towards a positive area, and it was really beaten down based on the the market's reaction to the Cyberpunk launch. Speaking of investing, I want to give a win to a place you could buy that stock or any other stock you happen to be interested in, and that's public.com. Public.com will allow you to invest in any stock that you so choose. I don't recommend any particular ones. I'm not a financial advisor, but it is a great place to both track your portfolio, invest, and see financial news. I often find very interesting financial stories and updates on the markets in Public's social app side of the program. You can also track my trades and see what I'm buying. It's pretty much all Disney right now, so you're not going to be that surprised, but you can check it out. And of course, if you sign up using my code, public.com/Atrioc, you can get a free stock, a free share, or a free part of a share of any one of these stocks, up to $300. I myself have ran it a bunch of times. I've gotten up to 275 of Disney stock for free off one person signing up, and plenty of 3s, 5s, 45s, whatever in the middle. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. They have a much more, they have a completely ethical business model compared to the well-known competitor that you might know of as mobile trading apps. That one makes their money by selling your trades to hedge funds. This one only makes money by investing uninvested money that's just sitting around. It's way more ethical. It's consumer friendly. It looks nice. It's clean. And they've supported marketing money for a while. So check them out if you're interested. It's not available in some countries, but if it is available in yours, I would appreciate if you check it out if you're interested in investing. You could also do fractional share investing for very small amounts of money just to test your skills and see if your thesis or ideas work out. Public.com, thank you for the support. Check them out. Big dub. Okay, that's a lot of wins, bro. That's a lot of wins. And now it's time for a GD fail. That is time for a fail. And that fail, I'm sorry to say, Gen Z, that fail is TikTokers. I know. I hate to tear down your idols, but I am now throwing down the gauntlet. TikTokers are ruining everything. Every single time a new trick comes out to scam a multi-million-dollar corporation. Oh, wait. Every time there's a way that you can get a deal or find a way to get something cool or, pull the wool over a big corporation, someone posts it on TikTok for clout, it gets way too popular, and then they close it down. For example, this one is about Six Flags food hacks. People found out that the meal plan was actually an amazing deal at Six Flags. They had an unlimited meal plan. People were just buying the meal plan, showing up, not riding any rides, getting 2 to 3 meals a day and leaving. It was great. People loved it. TikTok found out about it, posted it for clout, got figured out, dead. Secondly, more recently, Amazon had an amazing ebook return policy where basically if you read a book relatively fast, like within a few days, you could just return it. You could just buy a book on Amazon Kindle, read it, and return it. Unfortunately, TikTok found out about it, posted about it for clout, and now these speed readers are doomed. Amazon has closed the loophole, and you can only return it if you read 10% or less than 10% of the book. And there's plenty more where that came from. So it's just unfortunate. We're in an era where there's no... TikTokers are basically acting as free quality assurance for big corporations. Any loophole is getting found and publicized. They're basically working for the corporations. Keep it to yourself. If you find something, keep it to yourself. A little bit of likes is not worth it. Tell your friends. Enjoy it. These things used to last years. Corporations are very slow to adapt, but when 4 million people do it, it's over. So don't narc. That's my recommendation. That being said, speaking of narking and TikTok, I want to give a win to the FDA of America, all right, for doing their job, because there was a big danger in the world. People were cooking NyQuil chicken, okay? They were pouring NyQuil on their chicken, and an entire 5 people had posted about it on TikTok. There was 5 searches about it. And then the FDA said, we have to clamp down on this. we have to stop this disaster. So they made a very widely publicized announcement that you should not cook your chicken in NyQuil. And now there are 1,400 searches. Wow. Thank you, FDA. Thank you. You have truly saved many people from NyQuil chicken. Good job. Very massive win there. Okay. Oh, here's a win for people like me, content creators. Okay. I've always wondered, when I do a video that may be controversial, people might be going to my channel and hitting, don't show me more content like this. Or, do not recommend. Those little options you have on YouTube when you see it? Or even dislike button. Well, it turns out all of that does nothing. Some research by Forbes has proven that basically every one of those buttons does essentially nothing. They'll just keep recommending it to you and stuff like it. If you took the time to dislike it, that means you are interested in that content or it engages you enough to watch it. So they just keep doing it. They just don't care. It's like a safety valve to keep you passive and happy. Basically, the only way to not get recommended something is to actually not watch it. That being said, it showed like a 10% decline on most buttons. If you do the I don't want to see this channel ever again, that has a 50% decline. It's the most effective. It still doesn't completely remove it, but it is the most effective if you're trying to get rid. But yeah, the best way is just to not watch it and not click. Otherwise, you're hooked. One click on a I don't know. Top 10 Joker quotes. Like, for example, I might have watched this earlier.
Here we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
I only have one question.
What happened? Your balls drop off?
Yeah, so just watching that 22 seconds has ruined my recommendation forever. There's not much I can do about it. There's not much I can do about it. We are now in deep. Or God forbid you watch one Ludwig video, dude. It's over for your Rex. All right, continuing. We have to keep moving. I'm going to start HBO Max here in a second. Let's get to... Oh, a big win. A big win. Actually... Well, you know what? All right, I'll say it. This is not an ironic win. This is an actual win. I've been a little annoyed for the past 2 years about douchey buy the dip crypto bros. I'll say it. I don't know if you picked up on the fact. I talk about it every goddamn week. I've been a little annoyed at crypto bros. Well, guess what? For once, finally, buying the dip is not working. A 23-year-old crypto king has had his luxury cars seized after $35 million of investor money vanishes. He is lost his access to 2 BMWs, 2 McLarens, a Lamborghini. Although, actually, wait a second. I misread this story. This is just a fail. I thought they also got the money back. No, they just got the cars. This is terrible. This is a disaster. This is not an actual win at all. I thought they got the investors their money back, but they did not. No, they just got 5 cars and he $5 million in a pump and dump. Oh, that is a true actual win. Thank God for crypto. His name's Aiden, by the way. Coincidence? Meet the young Canadian investor who's taking the world of crypto by storm. Aiden also loves crypto. Very interesting. And all of a sudden, Aiden wants to flee to New Zealand with me. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Hopefully they can get these people their money back. Not very likely, though. This is another rug pull. That being said, you know what makes this a win? Because this so-called crypto king only stole $23 million. $35 million, I'm sorry. Only stole $35 million. And that's, in the grand scheme of things, of all the crypto rug pulls, is not that much. For example, I've got a real fail for you. Forget the crypto king, okay? Here's a real classic fail. Another day, another massive shitcoin goes under. There's a never-ending trend of these so-called stable currencies with stupid names that get completely rug pulled by their founders. And this one's got the stupidest name of all. It's called the British Pound Sterling. And it's got a crypto queen that conveniently has disappeared right before everything collapsed. How convenient. How convenient. This shitcoin is collapsing, dude. The value is at an all-time low. All-time. Literally going back to like the War of 1812. In terms of relation to the dollar, it's at an all-time low. Britain's currency is in total free fall, and the queen is nowhere to be found. Rug pull, if I've ever seen one. Massive, massive fail. The queen died, dummy. How much thicker do I have to lay it on? To be honest, as I was doing it, I was like, man, I'm really laying it on thick. How much thicker do I? Wait, give me an example. Do I need to fucking hold up a giant /S? At least, I'm sorry, British people. I am sorry about this currency disaster. Britain's economy is actually in pretty much the worst spot it's been in a very long time, with not many good signs for the future. People are showing real shakiness in the current leadership. Expect to see some kind of changes come the next election or even sooner. But at least, British people, you can rest easy knowing one thing, that Kanye West knows how you feel. You know? Rest easy, bruvs. It's okay. It's okay. You relate. Handshake. And that brings us to a segment that we haven't done in a while called Oi Bruv, you what, mate? Geopolitics in Europe. Today we are not doing What's Up Beijing. Today we're talking about the continent of Europe and everything that's going on in Europe right now. Let's talk about Oi Bruv. Beginning with the words nuclear war. Those are words you probably don't want to hear and we haven't heard in a while. Let's set the stage. Okay. Vladimir Putin is losing. This is actually good news. Vladimir Putin is losing his war in Ukraine. He's losing fucking bad. His troops do not want to fight. The Russian army is riddled with corruption. Communication is non-existent between the different silos of the military. And they are literally running out of men. Which is why Vladimir Putin, in desperation, has instituted a mass mobilization, aka a draft. For some reason, his people did not like that. Almost instantly. Are we back? Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're back. Where should we be back? Hello? Did Putin get me? Are we back? Refresh. Oh, I'm getting a water. One second, I'm getting a water. Bunka W. Right as I say Vladimir Putin's name, my internet goes out and I disappear. Interesting. Drafted, perhaps? Drafted, perhaps? We back? We got sound? You're good? We're back? Okay, cool. I'll do it. Actually, wait, I think I've lost my... Hold up. We're back. All right, cool. Oh, thank you for the subs, by the way. 23 months, 22 months, 12 months. Derp Leader, Grizz Joe, Nathaniel. I do appreciate the subs. Thank you guys very much for supporting Marketing Monday. I do appreciate it. No, I was not drafted, but many Russians were afraid of getting drafted. So this is what happened. These are the flights leaving Russia the second the draft was announced. Every single ticket on every single airline out of Russia was sold. Every single one. People are fleeing the country as fast as they fucking can. Nobody wants to get drafted to fight in this war. This goes on. This goes on for a minute. Yeah, a lot of them are going to Turkey. There's a few planes going in. So not only is everybody flying out, but there are mass protests from people that stayed. For example, here it is. Nope, that's not attack. Russians protested in dozens of cities. Yeah, dozens of cities across Russia have erupted in protests. People are fighting against this war tooth and nail. The fighting spirit amongst Russia is not there. They do not want this war, and Putin is attempting to force it down mid, despite having no organizational capability and a rapidly shrinking front that Ukraine is pushing in on. It is going absolutely disastrously for him, and it may threaten his hold on power. Worst of all, out of all of these responses to the draft, is that the CSGO player base is plummeting. So many young men are fleeing the country, rioting, or getting drafted that CSGO numbers are dropping dramatically. It's so much harder to fill a lobby. Their aim, though. Yeah, maybe. Maybe if they get the really, really cracked players. But more seriously, this is all very bad for Putin. And like a scorpion backed into the corner, he is threatening the last sort of card he has in the deck to regain some sense of control. And that is nuclear weapons. Okay? Vladimir Putin, who is losing allies left and right, basically only has China as his only real ally. And China is not... China's being very cold. China's being very fence city. Okay? All China is doing is basically using Russia as a puppet state to get a bunch of cheap natural gas that Europe used to buy. China is using Russia as like the way you use an HM Pokemon in Pokemon. They're just farming them for natural resources. And then the fact that Russia has proven so weak in this combat with Ukraine is bringing to light all of these old tensions from all these other countries that border Russia in Central Asia. And all of those countries are like, hey, we don't really like Russia, but they've been sort of dominant and we were afraid of them. And now we're not. And so all of these enemies are coming out of the woodwork. Russia is finding itself with very few friends, except for China's using them. And they're backed into a corner. And this would be fine if they didn't sit on one of the largest stockpiles of nuclear weapons with a, desperate leader about to lose power. Asian Slav. That's good. Asian Slav is good. Why did I think of that? I've got it halfway there. I teed up the ball. I didn't fucking knock it in. God damn it. That's good. That's actually very clever. So yeah, he is threatening all possible methods, including nuclear, is what he said. And thankfully, the U.S. has responded with force. This is U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan indicating that he will indeed karate chop Putin back to the Stone Age if he attempts to use nuclear force. This is him threatening the karate chop. No, he did say something a little more seriously. I believe he said, the consequences would be unfathomably catastrophic or something like that for Russia. Yeah, it will take catastrophic action if Vladimir Putin uses nuclear weapons. So that's good. That's good. I'm sure that's all good. That sounds good. Hopefully, I mean, listen, for all of Putin's surrounding himself with yes men and lack of information on the battlefield, he hasn't proved to be an irrational actor. I hope, for all hope, that he will not cross the bridge of using nuclear weapons. But it is seeming like he will lose his grip on power. His entire regime was built on the fact that he could be sort of a strong man that wins military battles. And now that he's seeing mass protests and he's damaged the economy of the country and he's lost the war, I predict something will happen. In the meantime, as more and more voices speak up against Putin, we are starting to see a massive amount of suicides among a ton of people connected to Russia. There has been a massive uptick in rich and well-connected Russians falling off rooftops, dying in their sleep. A very curious amount as Vladimir Putin attempts to regain control and shut down opposition voices. It remains to be seen how long this will work. But that is the major update on what's going on in Russia and in Europe. On the European side, like I mentioned, gas prices are rising dramatically. And basically what I'm sort of seeing is that if Europe can make it through this winter, they might be all right. They're constructing new pipelines to get natural gas from elsewhere. They're finding a lot of ways to get new stuff, new natural gas liquefaction factories. But all of that stuff doesn't come online until at least summer of next year. So if it is a very cold winter in Europe, it is going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster if it's cold in Europe. If it's a warm winter, it might be all right. So it really comes down to global warming. Everyone, please spray your aerosol cans. Everyone, please. We need you to drive in circles. Do donuts. Pollute as much as you can. We need a warm winter. Car running right now. Rolling coal. Turn the factories on. We need a warm winter for Europe. We have to show Putin that we mean business. Pollute as much as you can because, I joke a lot in this stream. I'm being dead serious that if there's a really cold winter in Europe, the financial repercussions with how high electricity costs are going to be insane. Businesses will shut, like a lot of them. There'll be so many unemployed people. It's going to be really bad. It'll be really, really bad. So I'm actually really hoping, hope against hope, that we have a warm winter in Europe and they can get energy independence starting by next year and move towards a better future out of a recession. But for now, it's going to be a really hard time. And I joke a lot and I make a lot of EU jokes. I am honestly and sincerely, if you live in Europe, I am wishing the best for you. It's going to be a hard period. I do hope that you, even if you do vote for change, you don't go to the craziest strong men who promise you absolute, that all of the problems in the world are, I hope not. Italy has already gone that way, but I hope that you think about it a little bit more. And I'm wishing you all the best. Stand with our European friends as they get through this insane winter. Now that, my friends, is the wins and fails. Bada bada bing. Is there anything I want to mention about China? Is there any what's up Beijing's? No, we talked about the coup. There's nothing. We're good. I kept this one a little short because we have an actual Marketing Monday today. We have an actual, for the first time in a long time, we have an actual Marketing Monday. The HBO Max Marketing Monday. I've been longing to bring this to you. And so I'm going to you should get some snacks, get some water. I'm going to do the same. And we can jump into it. I think it'll be pretty fun. Let me swap presenter and slide view. Perfect. Put this over here. I got a Pop-Tart and depression. Well, the good thing about the HBO Max Marketing Monday is it is not depressing at all, really. It's really actually just not. It's actually just interesting. Let me put this on. Put this on. Got the Dino Nuggies in the air fryer. Perfect. Perfect. Can I wait for my DoorDash? No, I cannot, but I will get a quick snack for myself. I'll be right back, and then we'll jump into HBO Max Marketing Monday. Get some snackies, get some drinks. Be right back. Afghans, thank you for the 14 months. Do appreciate it. Oh, let's play a little music. Look at this gato. Look at this gato. Hey, Sheb. Look how big he's getting. He's so big. He's gotten way bigger so quickly. Hello, Chefster. What a sweet cat you are. You are so sweet. Here, why don't you look directly at the camera? All right, he's a little grumpy, maybe. All right, cat. The floor is yours. Madge. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump into Marketing Monday, baby. Let's see what we got. Okay. So, how do I do Marketing Monday? It's been so long. Marketing Monday, I have a question for you. Ladies and gentlemen, chat, I have a question for you. How many of you watch HBO Max? Simple question. Wait, actually. Need to make sure I have everything. Yeah, here we go. All right. How many of you watch HBO Max? Pop quiz. How many of you watch HBO Max? The fact is, it is a trick question. The thing is, if you're watching this show, that means you watch Marketing Monday. And if you watch Marketing Monday, that means you have a very high IQ. Are you following me? And if you have a very high IQ, that means you definitely watch Rick and Morty, which only exists on HBO Max, which means all of you are certainly interested in HBO Max. Now, some of you maybe pirate. Some of you maybe buy the full DVD box set. But I think most of you are similar to me in that you've been wondering the same thing over the past few weeks. What the fuck has been going on with HBO Max? What is happening? What is the disaster? Why is everyone freaking out? Why is everything getting cut? In what should have been the best few weeks of all time for the company, they just launched House of the Dragon, a critical and commercial success that is comparing quite favorably to their rivals over at Amazon Prime with Lord of the Rings. And they put out a brand new Last of Us trailer just today that hit #1 trending, had 2 million views in like an hour on YouTube, 2.5 million on Twitter, one of the all-time fastest view counts on a trailer of all time. Huge, huge success. You'd think it would be a great, great month for them. No. Instead, they're undergoing what can only be described as a total meltdown. Content is being slashed left and right. The stock is in the gutter. Fans mourn the former greatest of HBO Max as WB continues slashing original content. It all began, as you've probably heard, with the cancellation of Batgirl. Now, this would not normally be news. Studios cancel films all the time. What was interesting about this one was that this film was done. This film had been shot, edited, and was ready for release. It was done. Very rarely does a studio cancel a film that has already spent all of the money on to make. It was ready to go. Why would they do that? I'll tell you one thing. I would have canceled it because the two directors are the most broy people I've ever seen of all time. The Instagram story they put out was called "Our Movie Won't Be Canceled." And I watched it for about 30 seconds and I was like, wow, these guys.
Assalamu alaikum, I'm Adil. I'm Bilal. And we're the directors of Image, Black, Gangsta, Snowfall the Pilot, Miss Marvel, the pilot in the finale, Soil, Bad Boys for Life, and Batgirl. So we wanted to explain actually the day that we found out about Batgirl getting canceled.
So we were at Adil's wedding. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, thank you. It was beautiful. It was Morocco. Thank God that my beautiful superhero wife was there with me to support me through these times.
I was in Tetuan. I was visiting the grave of my grandfather and grandmother. And when I was leaving, I picked up my phone and I saw there was a lot of...
I just can't feel too bad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, sorry.
Girl.
We were at Adil's wedding. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, thank you. It was beautiful. It was Morocco. Thank God that my beautiful superhero wife was
all, and they said to me, Batgirl is done.
Yeah, I was in Tangiers in a hotel honeymooning with my wife, and all of a sudden I got a phone call. Meanwhile, I was getting messages, and they said they're gonna kill the movie. And when I heard that, I was shocked because I didn't even realize that was a possibility. It was as if we were doing movie history right there. And I called right away Martin Walsh, the editor, and said, yo, you gotta pack up that shit, back up, copy the movie.
And then Adil called me and I said, yo, shoot it on your phone. So I went on the server and everything was blocked.
His plan was to record Batgirl on a screen on a phone and release that. That was your plan? Anyway, I don't feel particularly too bad for just these guys. And despite their campaign that we will not be canceled, they were indeed canceled. Okay? The best they got was something that I've never heard of before called funeral screenings, where they only showed the movie to the friends and family of the directors and then buried it. Okay? As far as I can understand, this movie tested pretty poorly as well, so wasn't exactly a great loss. But it did not stop there. You see, the axe kept swinging. HBO Max then removed 20 more original pieces of content, 36 titles overall. These are titles that weren't just unreleased, but already released. HBO Max originals that you could already watch, they'd already paid for and bought, were being taken off the service. Why? Then they pulled 200 episodes of Sesame Street. They cut Sesame Street from the service. 200 already uploaded episodes that they owned the rights to. These were things that nobody else had bought from them or taken off. They didn't lose the rights. They could have them up. They took them off. Why? What are they doing? Then they went a step really far. And after 2 years of actually doing some deep, awesome investment in Western animations, cut all of that completely. They canceled almost every animation show they have and removed them from the service. Nearly 40 animated titles were cut from the service basically overnight with little to no warning given to the creators. So the creators of the show had no advance notice that their show would be removed, and there was no legal way to watch any of these shows elsewhere. They were just gone. Teams of animators had spent, weeks and months of their lives working overnight, late night shifts to create these awesome new Western animated shows. And not only now were they not available on HBO Max, they weren't available anywhere. They were just cut. All of this stuff was happening. Bam, 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 bam. And people were left wondering why. Why is HBO doing all this damage to their own service? But oh, by the way, this one. I'm sorry, I want to mention this one. Batman Caped Crusader, a pretty sick-looking animated Batman movie, also cut. But I'm a Giga Chad. You see me, I'm built a little different. Losing access to content does not faze me. As a self-proclaimed and certified Giga Chad, I was like, whatever. Okay? As long as the shows I like are on there, I'm not going to be mad. Who cares? But then they went too far. And they cut Scoob Holiday Haunt. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Once they cut Scoob Holiday Haunt, it was serious. This, like Batgirl, was a completely done animated movie, ready to release for the holidays. It had already been animated and voice acted. It's ready to go. They can upload it right now. And they instead are burying it in a vault for no one to have. As a lifelong Scoober, I had to get to the bottom of this. I had to unmask the monster behind what was going on at HBO Max. I had to figure out the truth of this story. And what I found out was there wasn't one monster. No. Sorry, wait. Actually, we have to go back to this. There wasn't one monster. There was three. Three monsters. Three separate dumb CEOs who were at the root of the disaster at HBO Max. So today, I'm going to take you through the story. I'm going to explain the separate decisions of three separate dumb CEOs who collectively burned billions and billions of dollars, piled debt into multiple companies, cost thousands of people their jobs, and most importantly, stopped me from watching a holiday-themed Scooby-Doo movie. Now we look at the map. This is where we are currently. Now, the map of where HBO has been over the years looks like a subway system or human capillaries. You don't need to understand all of it. You just need to know that this is where we are currently, and we're going to flash you back to here when Time Warner and AT&T met on this chart in 2018. This is where we find dumb CEO number one. Let me move my camera. This is dumb CEO number one. And his name is Randall Stevenson, the CEO of AT&T. And he enters the story and sets off the chain reaction of events that will lead to what we have today. He looks like the type of guy to be the head of the Boy Scouts at age 58. That's because he is. He's the national president of the Boy Scouts Association while being the CEO of AT&T. What's important is he comes into the picture exactly here, right here in 2018. Now, if you want to watch anything about AOL and Time Warner, I have a great video on it called The Worst Acquisitions of All Time, but we're past that. This is where we are now. Time Warner is its own company. It owns Life Magazine, Time Magazine, and HBO. It owns Warner Brothers and DC Comics. It owns all of this, and it's standing on its own. But AT&T approaches with this guy, Randall Stevenson. Okay? Now, he has spent his entire 30-year career basically drawing lines on a map like this and saying, I have a monopoly on this area and you have a monopoly on that area. He works at AT&T. He is what's called a telco. And all he has to do is sit around, divide up the country into monopolies, and collect money. That is his entire career. He's done it for 30 years and he has printed money. He has one of the easiest jobs in the world. They don't need to innovate. They don't need to create. They don't need to design anything. All they do is rent-seek cable in certain areas. But after doing that for 30 years and clawing your way to the top of AT&T, you start to wish for a little bit more. At the age of 58, he decides he's had enough. He's going to break bad. He looks around the industry and he sees Comcast buying NBC. He sees that money is incredibly cheap to borrow. He sees all the big tech companies getting all this limelight and the buzz. And he says, now is my chance. And he smiles like this. And Randall Stevenson thinks, now is my chance to be a hero. He looks in the mirror and he doesn't see a telco. He doesn't see a rent seeker. He sees a buff, cool, glitzy Hollywood streaming company, a tech company, the kind of company that can go toe-to-toe with Facebook and Google and Amazon, okay? That's what Randall Stevenson sees in the mirror. He hated being a telco. He wanted to be a media mogul in the sexy, glitzy Hollywood universe. He's 58. He's rich. He wants to hang out with celebrities. So, what he's about to do next, after looking into the mirror, is going to destroy tens of billions of dollars of his own company, force the company to slash his dividend, and cost thousands of jobs for AT&T. Let's begin. First thing he does is look around at the media landscape, and he thinks, all right, we need content. We're going to buy Time Warner. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a service called Xandr. And this will allow us to do targeted ads the way Google and Facebook do it, but on TV. He thinks that he can use the data he has from people's cell phones, from AT&T subscribers, to figure out what you like, what you're interested in, and target the ads. This has never been done before. People that buy TV commercials generally don't have any good targeting except for like broad demographics. But he's confident it can get done. He's going to make a lot of money. He'll buy all this Warner Brothers content. He'll get targeted ads, and it'll save the company. It's worth any cost. He has this great quote that shows him to be truly a Steve Jobs of his era. If I'm a beer drinker, I'm more interested in seeing things about beer than soft drinks. This is how he explained to investors how his targeted ad system is going to work. Wow. Wow. That is genius. That is high level stuff. That is why he gets paid the big bucks as CEO of AT&T. Yes. Okay? Yes. So, he gets the green light. He gets the green light from his company, his board, and Wall Street. And he backs up a dump truck full of money. He's going shopping. All he needs now is content to make his new Xandr ad network work. And he finds Time Warner Incorporated, the company that owns HBO, that owns Time, that owns DC, that owns all of that, okay? He finds it. And he decides he'll buy it, not for what it's worth, which is about $60 billion at the time. He will pull an Elon Musk and pay way more than that because he wants to be sure to win. In fact, he hears a rumor that Apple might be interested. So he ups his offer even more to $86 billion. Now, at the time, AT&T is worth about $200 billion. So essentially, he's gambling the value of half the company to buy Time Warner for more than it's worth. It's a knockout bid, which is probably what AT&T intended. I would be surprised if anyone else could top AT&T's bid. Yeah, because we're paying 30% more than the company's worth. Okay? But it'll all be worth it. Once Xandr kicks in, his targeted ads will be the talk of the town. Unfortunately, immediately, he is sued by the U.S. government. They want to block this merger, okay? They say that it could be anti-competitive, that AT&T owning a massive studio like Warner Brothers might be bad for the economy. So he has to go to Congress and testify before Congress that this is not a monopoly, this is not anti-competitive. And it takes months. There's months of debate and there's months of back and forth. And then finally he says this. He says, if I run HBO and Time Warner, I think a good idea would be to make Game of Thrones episodes 20 minutes long and put them on mobile. And apparently Congress realizes this guy's an idiot. This guy's dumb. We don't have to worry. Let him have it. This guy's dumb as hell. Because, I'm not kidding, literally almost the next week, after months of debate, they approve it. The judge approves it. The merger's good to go after he says this line. The merger is good to go. They can now buy it for a whopping, $86 billion. So it happens. AT&T reaches the deal. They buy Time Warner for $86 billion. The deal is done. Huzzah! Poggers!
Poggers.
Randall Stevenson's on top of the world. He's got his dream. Okay? Xander is up and running. AT&T is no longer a telco. They own a major media conglomerate, Time Warner. They're in the content business. They can hang out in Hollywood. They can hold their heads high. He also is only a few years from retirement. So he really wanted to get the deal done, by the way. He's about to retire in just a few years. So right after the acquisition, the $86 billion acquisition, he makes a few quick changes. First, because he's chairman of the board, he votes himself a new pension plan of $64 million or $274,000 a month for the rest of his life after working, after retiring. That's a great way to reward yourself after spending $84 billion, is to reward yourself with $64 million in perpetuity. He's also been averaging $30 million a year for the past 3 years. That sounds like a big number. Bear with me. It gets bigger. There's more to come. For now, that seems relatively meager. But he's happy. This is all looking good for him. Unfortunately, after all of the work of getting the deal through, he doesn't want to actually work on this Warner Brothers stuff. Come on. He wants to enjoy himself. This is Randall Stevenson. He's got Boy Scout meetings to go to. All he wants to do is spend the last few years of his time as CEO of AT&T chilling and schmoozing with Hollywood celebrities. So he hires a new CEO to run Warner Brothers, which is now rebranded to Warner Media and is owned by AT&T. Let's enter dumb CEO number 2. His first hire, Jason Kilar. Claps for Jason, the second dumb CEO. 1 second. Now, you might notice I put an asterisk next to Jason's name. That's because I don't think Jason is dumb in the classical sense. I don't think he's dumb in the way Randall Stevenson is dumb. I think Jason is dumb in the way you might say that, like, wait. You might say that, like, Ned Stark is dumb. In that he's a competent man, but he doesn't understand the larger game being played. He doesn't understand what's really going on. You see, they hire Jason Kilar, AT&T does. They tell him to run Warner Media, and they give him one goal. They say, launch HBO Max. Launch our own streaming service and try to win the streaming wars. But what nobody seemed to expect, the craziest thing happened. He actually did it. They didn't want him to actually try, but he actually does. You see, Jason Kilar used to work at Hulu, and he used to work at Amazon, and he's a pretty competent guy. And he knows the streaming industry, and he knows what you have to do to win. And so when they tell him to do it, he actually tries his damnedest to do it. And to win the streaming wars, you got to do a lot of crazy stuff. Within the first 3 months, he's already doing a ton of things they're not super happy with, like, spending money. You see, Netflix spends a lot of money. If you want to beat Netflix and make better content than them, you have to spend a lot of money. So all of a sudden, Jason, even though they spent $86 billion to buy the company, now they have to spend more to make shows and movies for it? Yuck! They're not happy with that. So Jason starts spending billions of dollars to fight Netflix and Disney. And it hurts their profits. They want AT&T is used to always making fat profits. They don't like cutting into the profits at all. They don't like spending money now to make money later. That doesn't make sense. Have a monopoly now and make money forever. So they start freaking out a little bit. And Jason Kilar is spending tons of money on shows. Then, worse ever, he pulls all HBO content from Amazon. Until his reign in like 2019, 2020, you could get HBO stuff, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Sopranos, all that stuff, on Amazon Prime. You could pay a little extra fee. He pulls that. He wants everyone to have to go to HBO Max. His goal is to win the streaming wars. So he pulls it. This is a lot of easy free money for AT&T. They could just rent it out to Amazon and make some money. He pulls that, okay? They get even more scared. Uh-oh, we're hurting our current profits for this so-called future profit. No, that's bad. Then he takes it way too far, and he does Project Popcorn. Jason Kilar announces during the pandemic, with theaters closed, that he's going to release every single Warner Brothers movie day and date on HBO Max. Day one. The second it's released in theaters, you can watch it online. Matrix, Dune, King Kong vs. Godzilla. Project Popcorn absolutely is an unexpected, massive shakeup to the industry. And it gets Hollywood very, very angry. But it grows subscribers. It works very, very well at growing subscribers, but it makes all of Hollywood extremely mad. Warner Media Chief has become a movie villain to some in Hollywood. If you guys remember, Disney did this one time. Disney did this one time with Black Widow, and they got into a massive lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson, who was very mad. In this case, he made absolutely almost every studio and developer mad. Christopher Nolan walked from the company and said he would never work with Warner Brothers again. He brought Oppenheimer over to, I believe, Universal. Everyone's pissed. So now the AT&T CEO is looking down at this and he's like, wait a minute, you're spending all our money. You're lowering our cash flow now for the future. Yuck. And now I can't even schmooze with Hollywood. Now Hollywood's mad at us. I can't even go hang out with celebrities. So they freak out. But I want you to know it was working. Again, these are the most in-demand stuff on HBO Max you'll see even today. Almost all the movies they released are the top. Even better than the HBO original series, like Euphoria and stuff's here. The biggest things on HBO Max for the past couple of years have been the movies. It's been one of the massive drivers of demand. Dune was a huge hit. Batman was a huge hit. Elvis, Godzilla vs. King Kong. It was all a massive hit. And it drove huge subscriber growth. And again, this guy's kind of just doing his job. They told him, win the streaming war. Build a big streaming platform. And he's doing it. But they don't like how it's being done. He even beats Prime Video. By the end of his tenure, actually currently today, HBO Max is the third biggest streaming service, closing in on Hulu. This is, this is a little out of date, but this is where he was at, okay? This is only in the United States, by the way. Disney's bigger overseas. But I don't want to flatter this guy too much. While he is very successful, there is a quote here. If the only tool you have is a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. It's a very wise quote, but I thought I can make it wiser. If the only stream you have is a streaming, you tend to stream every problem as a stream. Atrioc. Genius. Okay? Well, think about that. Think about that. All right? Enter into my mind. This guy has worked at Hulu for a bunch of years and then at HBO Max for a bunch of years. His entire career has been streaming. His solution to every problem is to make it online streaming. And while he has been successful so far with this, I still call him a dumb CEO because of what he does next, which I'm calling the dumbest idea ever. Because Jason Kilar, during his tenure as CEO of HBO Max and Warner Media, greenlights something called CNN Plus. He notices that CNN, which is owned by Warner Media, is not doing so well. And his solution is a $110 million experiment to create a brand new streaming service called CNN Plus. It'll have shows like Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, 5 Things with Kate Baldwin, United Shades of America, Weed, Pot versus Pills. $110 million for like a $7.99 service a month for shows like these. And fuck. Wait. And it launches and nobody watches it. Legitimately, nobody watches it. You might notice, according to CNBC, 2 weeks into the launch, after a massive marketing spend, huge big parties they threw over the country, massive paychecks to huge talent, tons of shows, they had 10K daily users. Now, when I made this slide, I looked on Twitch to find somebody at 1 a.m. who had around 10K users. And I found Asmongold's alt. That means CNN Plus spent $110 million, hired production staff, hired 14 anchors, hired graphic artists, built an office, built a studio to get less daily viewers, about half the daily viewers of Asmongold's alt playing New World, a dead game. That is, by any measure, a colossal disaster, a colossal business fuck up. There is no getting around that. That is a shockingly bad fuck up. So now, AT&T executives, like our old friend Randall Stevenson here, are freaking out. This is not what they planned when they spent $86 billion. They are spending money left and right. They're taking on debt. Hollywood is mad at them. CNN Plus is a public disaster, dumpster fire. Nothing is going well. So they all meet up in secret. And they plan to pull the plug on this experiment with Jason Kilar. But they do it by stabbing him in the back. They have a secret midnight meeting. And they all plan to get rid of him and get rid of the company. But while they are doing this, they are lying to his face and telling him he's doing a great job. In fact, in what was called the ultimate smile to the face, knife in the back maneuver, AT&T executives have a story placed in, I think this is Variety, called the HBO Max Boss Script for New Hollywood. They basically have a puff piece placed calling Jason Kilar great. And every one of these executives is quoted in the piece talking about how great he is. This is published, and then a day later, he's fired. Every one of his bosses is quoted in the article saying, we love him. He's great. We believe in him. He's shaking things up. And secretly, they are planning to fire him and sell the company. They're done with it. AT&T wants to go back to what they're good at. They want to get out of this business. By the way, this entire time, Xandr, the ad network, is a complete disaster. It turns out that even though they have some data on beer drinkers, AT&T has about 1/1,000,000th the amount of data that Google and Facebook have. So advertisers don't care. They just keep going to Google and Facebook. They're not interested in the Xandr targeting. It doesn't mean anything. They have nothing compared to what Facebook and Google have. So it accomplishes nothing. It's a total disaster. And the company's completely written off. So in this midnight deal, they agree to sell the entire Warner Media business to Discovery for $43 billion. Now, if you're doing the math, that is $44 billion less than they just bought it for 4 years earlier. And if you do the math on that, that means that AT&T, on this deal alone, not even counting the hit to their stock price, lost roughly $30 million a day, every day, for 4 years on this deal. Randall Stevenson's big dream of being a Hollywood mogul only cost him $30 million a day to rent. This, by the way, is what $30 million in $100 bills looks like. one of these lit on fire every single day so Randall Stevenson could play Hollywood mogul. And we're not even to the reason Scooby-Doo was canceled yet. I told you this story was deep. Okay. So, they had a retrospective article after it was all done and AT&T sold Warner Media to Discovery. And a top executive who worked for Randall said, looking back, it seems silly now to think of AT&T like Facebook. Silly. It was a goof. Oops. AT&T, by the way, fired a lot of people. Big layoffs. Cancellations. Dividends cut. Elderly people who held a bunch of AT&T stock and needed the pension or needed the dividend to pay their bills. Massively cut. Company in worse financial position than ever. Saddled with debt. But it was a little silly. It was a little silly. Oops. A goof. And now we find ourselves here. Warner Media, after being punted out of AT&T, was bought by Discovery for $43 billion, half of what they paid. And that, my friends, is where the big bad wolf appears. Enter dumb CEO number 3. David Zaslav, the Butcher, the Grim Reaper. And he's here to give the content the chair, dude. Shout out to the villain, the Zazzler. Dumb CEO number 3 is here and he is ready to kick ass and take names. Okay? He has just purchased Warner Media and he has one mandate. Cut the costs. Get rid of the debt. And he is known as the king of trash TV. And he now owns the HBO Kingdom, the most prestigious premium brand in streaming. This man, whose entire career has been built on trash TV over at Discovery, now owns HBO, the furthest thing from what Discovery is. And all he cares about is cutting. So he starts with a good one. Instantly, day one, frame one of becoming CEO, he kills CNN Plus, of course. And people think, yeah, okay, this guy, good start. Instantly close it. This is only like a month in, by the way. They don't even bother trying to fix it. It's a month in. He looks at the subscriber numbers. He looks at the viewership. He says, no, cut it, dead. Everyone instantly canceled. All shows shuttered. They don't try anything. They don't even sell the assets. They just cancel it. Cut their losses. And he's painted as a little bit of a hero. Wall Street perks their ears up. And Warner Brothers Discovery stock starts to rise a little bit, just a little bit. And they think maybe this guy can turn it around. Maybe this guy can trim the fat, get this thing going. This is him painted as a heroic firefighter dousing CNN Plus while Jason Kilar walks away and throws away the keys. But unfortunately, the cutting doesn't stop there. You see, the problem is much bigger than $110 million. This is the size of Disney. It's a $206 billion company. This is the size of Warner Brothers Discovery, the newly formed merger. Okay? It's about a tenth of the size. Okay? This is a sort of comparison of their sizes. This is the size of their debt. You see, Disney's a $200 billion company with $50 billion of debt. That's serviceable. 1/4. It makes sense. Debt has been cheap. Warner Brothers is a $30 billion company with $55 billion of debt. It is nearly double the amount of debt to the capitalization of the company. The company owes more than it's entirely worth. And just the interest payments on this debt are eating the company alive. They can barely function. They can barely even pay their bills with all of the payments on this debt, especially as cheap interest rates start to rise. So things are getting dangerous. So he's got to cut quite a bit. By the way, Warner Bros. Discovery is like the third highest debt of all the media industry. And of all these companies, it is by far like the smallest. So it has way too much debt. But John Malone, Zaslav's mentor, tells Wall Street they can definitely start using cost synergies, which is a fancy way of saying cuts, to cut $3 to $4 billion of expenses every year. Easily. We'll cut $3 to $4 billion, no problem. He tells Wall Street this. And so Zaslav, he's back on the hunt. He's got to start cutting, baby. And that is where we get back to the beginning. Uh-oh. Step 1, layoffs. Bam, Zaslav starts firing people. Number 2, the 20 originals, 36 starts cutting titles. Sesame Street, animation, cut. And the reason it comes out that he's doing this is because after you've already paid for and bought a show, you have to pay these small fees called residuals to the actors and talent to keep it running on a streaming service. That's part of the contract. So if I do a show with Sesame Street and I have it running on HBO Max, every year I have to pay a little bit to the Sesame Street production crew and the talent and staff. So he is pulling these shows down to save on these tiny residual bills on all of these shows. Basically, any show that is not getting a ton of viewership, he is cutting to save tiny bits of cost. As well, the shows that are unreleased, like Batgirl, he is cutting for tax reasons. HBO Max, this is John Oliver, who is on HBO Max doing a story about it, saying that HBO Max is no longer TV. It's a series of tax write-offs to appease Wall Street. He's saying this to his own bosses. Yeah. So if a movie's completely done and finished, but they don't think it'll do well, they can just can it, pay nobody, and write it off on taxes. Now, it's not a good thing. It's still not better than a successful movie, but they can't really afford to market it, and they don't want to pay the residuals. So everything is in service of cutting. And with all of this cutting, he managed to get, for the first year, $3 billion cut. Zaslav does it. He follows through on the promise. $3 billion of expenses have been cut for the first year. Now, there's a lot more to cut, but he's done it. What does Wall Street do in response? They tank the stock $20 billion. So he saved $3 billion in expenses to lose $20 billion in value. Because the mass hate by consumers, the rest of Hollywood, and the brand damage of cutting all these shows have basically spooked everyone from investing in the company. And so it loses $20 billion in value. But he managed to save a little bit of money. He managed to save $3 billion in cost, okay? They lost $20 billion in market cap trying to cut $3 billion in costs. This is, you can see it right here. The more Warner Brothers cuts, the more the stock price goes down. And it's like, I can't really blame Zaslav, because he was told he had to cut costs. And there was no other place he could have saved any money. There was just no other place he could have saved any money at this company. Remember how Randall Stevenson got paid an absurd $30 million a year for being the CEO of AT&T? Well, this is a much smaller company, but David Zaslav's pay is $246 million a year. Where does that rank? I'm glad you asked. That is the 6th highest paid CEO in the world. Above multi-trillion-dollar company CEO Andrew Jassy of Amazon. He is paying himself $30 million more than Amazon for a debt-riddled tiny company by comparison. But there's no place that he could have cut any expenses except for getting rid of all Western animation. By the way, he is the second highest paid CEO if you rank it by CEO pay to the average worker at the company. He gets paid 2,972 times the average worker at Warner Brothers Discovery. But I'm sure he earned it. Nobody can cut like Zaslav. So, okay, maybe the cutting isn't working. But this man is the king of TV. Trash TV, but still. What is his plan for the future? How is he going to turn HBO Max around? Because you can't just cut. You have to build. This is his plan.
All right, baby girl. We're back.
We are back.
What? What are we gonna do? What if we screw something up?
We will. You will.
Oh, man. Oh, crap.
More cheap reality TV shows. Chip and Joanna, a fixer-upper. Apparently, executives have leaked that David Zaslav's favorite show
I'd work hard.
is Fixer Upper. Not because he watches it, but because it's very, very cheap to make, and it has a fan base that loves to watch it. If David Zaslav had his wish, this is a quote from one of his top executives, he would just program Chip and Joanna right here all day long. His ideal world is a streaming service filled with TV exactly like this. Very cheap to make, that they can shit out by the hundreds, not ruffle any feathers, very middle of the road, no controversy, and print money. That is his plan to save HBO Max. And he released this graph to sort of cover his plan to merge the two. Because right now, Chip and Joanna exist on a service called Discovery Plus. Maybe you haven't heard of it because you're not a 58-year-old mother of two. But it does exist. It is 1/3 the size of HBO Max, but he thinks they should be merged. He thinks they should be together. And in fact, he thinks it should be called Discovery Plus. David Zaslav would like the service to be led with Discovery Plus and HBO Max to be folded in. Despite the incredible premium prestige brand that HBO Max has built over the years, it doesn't quite live up to the level of Chip and Joanna over at Discovery. So they released this graph where they said, these are our two different platforms and they're going to be unique and complementary and work well together. You see, HBO Max has a male skew, does more scripted stuff, lean in, appointment viewing, home of fandoms. Discovery has a female skew, unscripted, lean back, comfort viewing, home of genre-dums. And that all sounds very interesting, except for the fact that it's 100% not true. You see, Discovery Plus has a higher percentage of male viewers than HBO Max does. There's no basis in fact at all. It's 100% bullshit. They don't really know what they have at all. But it sounds good. It sounds good to Wall Street. And so they're moving forward with this plan. And in fact, David Zaslav is really pushing to reduce the amount of HBO scripted content. As prestigious as it is, it's expensive. And he doesn't want to deal with it. So that brings us to today. That brings us to where we're at now. Warner Media, Discovery Warner, is in a financial mess. They've cut a ton of shows. Their brand is looking shaky. And in summer of next year, they are planning to merge two extremely different services and just hope it works out. Just put Game of Thrones right next to Chip and Joanna and just hope the audience loves it. And they're probably going to call it Discovery Plus. And so they're making some moves in the meantime to get ready for this move. And one of them is moving out all of their movies that were going to release this year to next year. They're pushing them out. By the way, David Zaslav also canceled Project Popcorn. Movies will no longer release on HBO day and date. He's going to wait 60 days, 45 days, 80 days, whatever. He will no longer release movies. So, Warner Brothers only has enough cash in the year to release 2 movies. That's all they have left. They are so low on money, they can only afford to market 2 more movies for the rest of the year. The first one is this one, Don't Worry, Darling. Now, I don't know if you guys have followed Don't Worry, Darling. It's had an endless amount of on-set drama, tons of disasters. There was a theory that Harry Styles spit on star Chris Pine. Tons of disasters. And then it launched recently to a 35% tomatometer. So that one's probably not going to save the company, which means there's only actually 1 movie left for the whole year for the studio Warner Brothers to save the company, to help them pay back their debt and turn things around. There's only 1 movie left. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Warner Brothers rests on this man's sculpted shoulders.
At the man in black himself, Black Adam.
This happened to HBO Max. We have to find out.
At the man.
What I do know is that Black Adam wasn't even supposed to exist. The Rock saw a random bit villain in a script for Shazam 2, decided he wanted to play it, decided it needed to be a separate movie. There is no big comic book lore to Black Adam, it turns out. It was just a minor character of a minor spin-off villain. He decided it wanted to be a main character. So he has forced it down mid to create Black Adam into a cinematic tour de force that leads the DC universe. In fact, the entire DC universe is kind of banking on Black Adam's success. He wants sequels. He wants spin-offs. He wants franchises. Will it happen? We don't know. But Warner Brothers is worried now, darling. Everything rests on The Rock's Black Adam. And fans are convinced now that they know this, they're convinced they can fuck with it. They're convinced they can turn Black Adam into the next Morbius. Because if they cause this movie to get released in hundreds of theaters, thousands of theaters, and flop, or even re-released and flop, they could legitimately bankrupt Warner Brothers Studios. If Black Adam is mid, we could potentially Morbius gaslight Warner Brothers into releasing it twice to ruin them economically. Which means there is a chance for the 4th dumb CEO in this saga that torpedoed Warner Brothers and HBO from its heights to its current lows. The 4th dumb CEO, ladies and gentlemen, could be you. Thank you for watching Marketing Monday. And that is the story of how 3 and possibly 4 dumb CEOs torpedoed the once powerful brand of HBO Max. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. That's a 96 slide PowerPoint. Jesus. If you have any questions, I can totally answer them now. I had to cut some stuff, but I think that was it was really interesting for me redistributing it. There was so much dumb decisions. And you know what? It remains to be seen. I mean, every single person other than David Zaslav thinks it's fucking stupid to change the name HBO Max and fold it in Discovery. So maybe it gets stopped, because House of the Dragon's doing so well. Last of Us is doing really well. Maybe they're like, come on, please, 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 and they can get it to work. But he seems dead set. He seems dead set. What do you think about Disney and Hulu teaming up? Well, Disney owns Hulu, so it's not really a team up. It's a fucking master-servant situation. Disney owns Hulu? Yes, correct. Doesn't House of the Dragon help? Yes. House of the Dragon, kicking ass, and Last of Us, seemingly it's going to do really well. Give the HBO guys a lot of leeway to be like, come on, please don't cancel us. Please rethink this. It's working. Give us a chance. And hopefully David can listen to reason, but it just seems like he's a guy that really doesn't want any of the expenses. He wants cheap, shitty TV that he can shove out and make easy money. Why did Warner Brothers buy HBO if they want the fixer-upper type content? Warner Brothers has owned HBO forever. You're thinking of Discovery. Discovery bought Warner Media, which includes HBO, because they wanted scale. They wanted they think they can take the 70 million subscribers of HBO and shove them into Discovery and get a 90 million total, and nobody will leave. And I'm not sure it's going to work out like that. How do dumb people become CEOs? Failing upwards is very common, you know? And you know, in like, for example, Randall Stevenson of AT&T. What does he really have to do for 30 years? If you work at AT&T, you smile, you shake the right hands, you play golf. The business is easy. It prints money with no effort. You have a monopoly on cable services. So you just rake in money, you do the bare minimum. Every leader looks good, the money goes up, and they just keep getting promoted. That the only way to see if they're skilled is to enter in a hard industry. Where would all the shows go if WB goes bankrupt? They'll get bought. So there's a real chance that Discovery's like, wow, this is not working out. Let's sell them again. But this time for $20 billion or whatever. You know, every time they get sold, it'll be another smaller amount down. Oh, I didn't mention this in the PowerPoint, but Xandr, the ad network thing that AT&T was working on, they sold to Microsoft for basically nothing. They sold it to Microsoft for like pennies, like literally, legitimately nothing. Total disaster. Could Netflix buy them? It's possible. Yeah, for sure. Netflix could buy them. I think it would be blocked by the antitrust monopoly thing, but it could happen. If Disney buy HBO, it's like the beginning of the end. They would love to. I mean, Disney, I think Apple would be a big buyer of HBO. Apple loves that premium shit. Apple would be very interested in buying HBO Max if it was up for sale. But Discovery's not selling right now. They think their plan is good. We'll find out in summer of next year. Why is Apple TV not doing well? Apple TV is doing fine. Apple TV doesn't exist to make money. Apple TV exists to make you stay in the Apple ecosystem, to buy AirPods and watches and stay on the iPhone. And it works. Same with Prime. They don't do it for direct money. They don't care about streaming. It's a bonus. It's a value add. By the way, prediction, if someone does buy HBO Max again, which wouldn't happen for a year and a half minimum, my prediction is Apple. I think Apple would be a great acquirer, and they're going to really try. How come nobody stopped Disney from buying Hulu? Well, Hulu was always owned by a bunch of studios. Hulu was created to stop YouTube because YouTube was like just yoinking TV shows and putting them up. And then they wanted to get in the streaming game. So like Disney and Warner and Universal and everybody teamed up and they all agreed to split Hulu 2020, 2020, whatever. And then after it got successful, Disney like, we want more of this. So they kept buying everybody out. And then Disney eventually bought it all, or they own like almost all of it. How well does Black Adam need to do to save Warner and DC? It's not really about the raw amount it would make. It's more like Black Adam needs to like beat expectations to show that like this company's not dead in the water. If Black Adam does surprisingly well, Wall Street will shoot the stock, turn it around and be like, okay, they're on an upward trend. They can turn this into a franchise and the DC universe will, it's like all the future expectations. The movie doesn't need to like do Titanic numbers or anything. But if it performs poorly or under expectations, they're fucked. Terrible. What do you think HBO should have done to cut costs? I mean, it's tough to say. Listen, it is tough to say. It's possible that some of the cuts they made are the right move, even though they seem shitty. But the way they went about it, not telling the creators, cutting residuals immediately, pissing off Hollywood, making everybody mad at them, not telling consumers, it all seems like pretty shitty, right? It's bad for the brand. So there's probably a nicer way to do it if they had to do it. And I don't know if they did. Also, you have to cut CEO pay, dude. If you're in a company with that much debt, you can't be sitting around with the fucking highest paid CEO in the world or one of the highest. It doesn't make sense. Your company has not earned that right. I still don't understand when they cut Batgirl and Scoob. Okay, so Batgirl and Scoob, they were done. They were ready to release. But to release a movie still costs marketing money. You can't just drop it on the service. To make sure it gets its money back and is successful, you have to spend another tens of millions of dollars on marketing to release it. And they only had enough money to release, Don't Worry Darling and Black Adam. So they decided to forget paying the marketing money. They think the movie's going to be a flop anyway, because they think it's bad based on test readings. And if they don't release it, they can write it off on taxes and not pay the creators any residuals. So all that combines to be the best of a bad situation. We'll save a little bit of money and we just won't care. That's why they're doing it. They cut Scoob for that reason. Scoob and Batgirl. Why couldn't they have sold the rights to the content instead? It's a great question. I do not know. I think they don't want to help competitors, maybe. I have no idea. I think it would be reasonable to sell. In fact, some of the stuff they are selling. For example, that Batman movie, the animated one, they're selling that. This one. Where is it? This one. They're shopping this around. I guess Batgirl, maybe it was so bad or it's so associated with them. I don't know. They don't want to sell it. They just want to get rid of it. But they are selling some of their stuff. Does this affect HBO originals? Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think Game of Thrones is going anywhere, but Zaslav has been talking about cutting HBO originals. He wants to do less expensive premium scripted content. He thinks it's too much work, too much effort, too expensive. I don't think Game of Thrones is going anywhere. I don't think the real big hits are going anywhere, but they might do less new stuff in the future, Does that mean no more Barry? It could. If Barry's not big enough of a hit for him to justify, he could cut it. It remains to be seen. If they all go bankrupt, then all the pieces will be sold to the highest bidder. So HBO Max will be sold to the highest bidder and people will buy up the rights. Expensive content is HBO's entire brand. I 100% agree. It's one of the biggest marketing disasters ever. HBO Max, even though it's expensive and pretty costly and had some debt, had built something real. It had built the third largest streaming service with a great brand, 70 million subscribers, premium branding. It was doing really well. And they're just shitting all over it. They're cutting a very exclusive service to replace it with Discovery shit. It's crazy. Will streaming diversify if Warner dies, or is this permanent aggregation? It is permanent. I think we are past the era where new streaming services are coming. That was the cheap pandemic era. Cheap money pandemic. Everybody was launching a streaming service 2 years ago. Now they realize it's very expensive. And it's all getting layered up into a few people. I think it's going to get smaller and smaller. I think this pie is going to get smaller and smaller. I think Paramount will die. I think Peacock will die. Or they'll merge. These two might merge. Or they'll sell to one of the bigger guys. Disney's already bigger than this. Discovery and HBO Max are merging. Hulu and Disney might combine. It's all going to get smaller. It's going to be fewer choices. Paracock, yeah. Paracock. They have a good thing going with HBO Max. Why would they even change? Did you watch what I just did? The 90 slides that I just did? I just talked about it. I just talked about it for like an hour and a half, bro. I took you way up in the beginning. I did the whole story. The 3 CEOs, the dumb CEOs. Did you notice any of that or no? I can't do it. My voice is gone. I can't even do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's Marketing Monday. I appreciate you watching. Statum, thank you for the 5 gifted. I actually want to thank all the subs. It's Kleptic, thank you for the Prime. Zancharius, thank you for the 11 months. Spatterin, thank you for the 13. Sang, thank you for the gifted. Adriel, thank you for the 12 months. PogChamp. Astro for the 7. Lunky with the 5. Spike Brazil with the Prime. Shafts with the 9. Flippy with the Prime. Razloof with the Prime. Matthias with the 8 months. Shaber with the 16. Timothy Deere with the 11. Donkers with the Prime. Dead Pixel with the 5. Banana Live with the Prime. Harambe with the 7 months. Elwiz with the Prime. Balake with the 22. Felix Von Grizz with the 2. Leroy is cool with the 6. Fragile Brains with the 19. Zero with the Prime. Thank you. AC Jagon with the 10 months. Thank you, guys. I do fucking appreciate it. And in fact, I have to tell you something. I have a very, very interesting announcement tomorrow featuring me and some friends. I would like you guys to tune in. If you've ever watched my stream and you're interested at all, I would appreciate you tuning in tomorrow. It will be actually very, very, very interesting. And I think you will like it. I will try to go live as soon as I can after work, maybe even like a 5 or a 5:30-er. We will see. But I will be going live tomorrow. There'll be something very, very interesting. And I would love you guys to tune in. I would love you guys to tune in, to be honest. I think it's a stream you won't want to miss. So that's that. I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I've been talking for a gazillion hours. Kuma K, thank you for the 10 gifted. God damn. Brady Donald, thank you for the Prime. Blue Arrow, thank you for 7 months. Please check out. Oh, wait, shit. Guys, wait. Guys, you have to, wait. Pretend like we're still in the PowerPoint. This is actually really important. I have to do an ad read for my Marketing Monday sponsor that I forgot. Please join in. Let me do this. Because that Marketing Monday on HBO Max was sponsored by my good friends at Rocket Money, a.k.a. Truebill. I did Publix for wins and fails. But for that Marketing Monday, it was sponsored by Rocket Money, a.k.a. Truebill. If you haven't checked them out, you can go to rocketmoney.com/Atrioc. Go to the panel in the link below. It is an absolutely amazing way to see everything you're subscribed to. I have used Truebill for literally over a year and a half now. They just recently became Rocket Money. I used them well before they ever offered to sponsor me. I am extremely pleased with the service. You can do it. There's a paid version if you want, but the unpaid version is also amazing. You connect your bank account and it tells you everything you subscribe to easily. So it'll show up Netflix, Spotify, Wall Street Journal, OnlyFans, whatever you subscribe to. And you can easily cut it. It does all the work for you in cutting the subscription. It's awesome. You can see where your bills are going, where your money's going. I lose track all the time. With Truebill, or Rocket Money, I have managed to cut like my Epidemic Sound thing that I've been paying $30 a month for like 8 months. I cut an old 24-hour fitness gym membership that I forgot that I didn't cancel. I cut that with Truebill. It has a ton. It's just awesome. It also has amazing budgeting features. It has an amazing way of tracking your net worth, tracking your savings. You can plan for things. It's just it's a clean, easy to use, great app. I think it's amazing to use, even unpaid, and the paid version also does like a lot of cool stuff for you. So I recommend checking it out. They are an app that I use myself for a very long time, and they reach out to support me, which is cool. So rocketmoney.com/Atrioc and link in the below. Check them out. Thank you again for supporting me, Rocket Money, and thanks chat for checking it out if you are interested and that's up your alley. That is it for me. That is it for Marketing Monday. I'm tired. I've been talking nonstop. I'm gonna be fucking voice gone in meetings tomorrow. Maybe David Zaslav should have used Rocket Money. That would have been a good. I actually should have. I should have done it then. That would have been a really good time to put the Rocket Money ad read is when David Zaslav was cutting everything. Okay, bro, I'm tired. I'm tired. I did a weekend in Vegas and came right back to this. Please tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, big day. Truly big day. If you ever watch my stream, if you're interested at all, I think tomorrow will be a pretty interesting day. Sevens, have a great night. I'm going to raid somebody, pass the love along. Who's live? I think that let's raid. Bro, I just had I went to a party with this guy, an old friend of mine, who is now a former Smash Pro, who's now a competitive Pokemon grinder, named Hugs86. Please check out Hugs86. Give him some love. He's a pretty funny guy. He's a very funny guy. And he will probably say some shit about the fact that one time I was visiting LA and he held a poker tournament for me or a poker game. Like he organized everyone to come out for a big poker game. And then I didn't show up and I felt really bad. And then we got into a big argument and I wasn't even arguing. I was just apologizing profusely and he was really mad. And then we just recently hung out and we made up and we made a bunch of jokes about it. And we're going to have a new poker game that I'm going to host. Okay. So I want you guys to rate him. I want you to be nice. I want you to mention the poker game and have a great time. Bye. He's not going to show up. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be funny.